Hey y'all, so I wanted to come over here and talk to you about the Trinity of God. We all know that there is one God. However, there are three components to that one God. You have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Because people don't understand how the Son and the Holy Spirit come into play when it comes to being one God, they prefer to just worship the Father and only acknowledge Him. However, I asked the Lord, how would I explain it to someone if they asked me if there's one God, how is there Jesus sitting on the throne right next to him? So I asked him, and he said, we move as one. And I was like, okay, what did that really mean? He said, think about it in this manner. The Father is the brain and the body. Jesus is the tongue. And the Holy Spirit is the breath. I said, okay. He said, the brain thinks about what needs to be done. The tongue formulates the words that needs to be spoken. And the Holy Spirit is the breath, so it brings life into it. So if you can think but you have no tongue, you cannot speak the word that needs to be spoken. If you can't think but you can speak, you cannot think what needs to be done at that moment. You can't get anything completed because you can't really think about what you need to complete. If you have no breath, then you're just dead. That's just the end of the story. No breath, death. So if you can think and you hold your breath, right? And you try to speak a word, nothing's going to come out of your mouth. So without that breath, you cannot bring life into your own words, right? So each one are equally important. Each one play a role in how things are done. When Jesus walked the earth, he said that I can't do anything on my own. Everything I do, I see the Father doing. Meaning that the Lord was the Father was the one telling Jesus exactly who to heal, who to cast demons out of, where he's supposed to go. So he's the brain. Jesus is the word, the tongue, because if you look at John 1, it talks about in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, all things were made through him, and without him was not anything made. So God would think it, and through his Son, the Son will formulate those words and start to speak it. And then the Holy Spirit, because he's the breath, he will go out and hover upon everything that was spoken at that moment and bring it into life. So each one are equal, each one is needed, each one moves as one, and nothing is done without each other. You can't speak and you can't formulate words or without each other. If you can't think it, you can't speak it. If you don't have a tongue, you can't speak it. If you have no breath, you're just dead at the end of the day. So that's the only way that I can explain to you how there's one God, but there are three components to that one God. Each one is equal. Each one is important. And without any of these components, nothing can be done through the Holy Spirit, through the Son, and through the Father. They each need each other in order to perform what needs to be done upon this earth. So I hope that helped you in some form of way.